Hello, everybody. I know it's been a long time since I've done a vlog, but I've been taking some time for myself, and I finally got my second COVID shot on Friday. So I'm all done with the shots. Thank goodness. I came across a news article that belonged in People magazine. I'm sure you could read it online, but Christopher's young son, Will, has done a memorial to his father for Father's Day, and I thought I would share that with you tonight. But before we do that, I'm going to share the link in the sidebar here. As you know, his young son, William, was 3 years old when his father had his accident. And of course, I can't share it with you because the link's too long, but I will be sure to share it with you when the video is finished. We all know Christopher Reeve had that tragic accident back in 1995, right? People around the world rallied up their hope and their prayers that he would walk again. I was one of those lucky souls that got to send him a letter to the medical center where he was. And his mother, Dorothy Lamb Crawford, had wrote me back and told me that I was very brave myself because I told him about how I have a disability and how he'll meet some nice people and how he'll meet some real jerks in the world. But I keep on going just like I always do. Well, here we are in the age of 2021. Will Reeve has posted a story to People magazine. It says here, let's see, Will Reeve remembers his late father, Christopher Reeve, on Father's Day. He gave me everything, he says. Will Reeve pens a touching tribute to his late father, Christopher Reeve, reflecting on their shared interest for Father's Day. And they say his son, Will Reeve, celebrated Father's Day by writing a touching tribute to his father. On Sunday, Will, an ABC News correspondent, reflected on his memory of his dad. As we all know, Will was just 3 years old when his father, best known for playing Superman, had been paralyzed in 1995 due to a horse riding accident. And he was only 11 when Christopher died in 2004. 2 years later, tragedy hit again when his mother, Dana, died of lung cancer at the young age of 44. In a letter posted on GMA, which is Good Morning America, the 29-year-old recalled watching his father on an old VHS tape of a National Geographic whale documentary hosted by Christopher. Will noted that he grew up having the same love for whales, despite not being able to share those moments together. Will said that while in Alaska on an assignment, he was able to feel his father's spirit while recreating the moment from the documentary. We never got to see whales together, Will says. We never got to do a lot of stereotypical father-son stuff. No catch in the backyard, no birds and the bees, no driving lessons, no prom pictures, no college visits, no guys' dinners in New York City, Will wrote. While I haven't been able to celebrate with him the Father's Day for 17 years, I honor him today with joy and a dream realized. I saw whales in Alaska last night up close and felt Dad was with me. And they have a picture of Will when he was a young sprout with his older brother and older sister in the picture with Dana. And I remember that picture very well. Let's see, he continues in that note. He says, I'm 29 now, and I have finally started to understand what honoring my dad really means. I thought it meant following the road he would want me to go down or live my life as his proxy for making up for lost time. according to his thwarted dreams. Turns out our parents want us to find out who we are and go be that. That is the ultimate form of honor. Over the years, Will stayed connected to his parents through his work founding the Christopher Reeve and Dana Reeve Foundation and becoming an activist for spinal cord injury research alongside his half-siblings Matthew and Alexandra. In our short time together, my dad gave me everything. His love, his attention, his values and passions, Will added. When he died, I was certain my purpose in life was to be him, to seamlessly carry his legacy, to leave no separation between where Christopher Reeve ended and where Will Reeve had started. Like many, missing the main character on every third Sunday in June, I never feel fully whole on Father's Day, but I find peace and strength in the fact that the greatest gift I can give my dad is to keep him in my heart while I follow it wherever it leads me. The day before he died, Christopher spent quality time with his youngest child. He went to Will's hockey game, as he typically did, according to family friend Ken Regan. He tried to go to all of Will's sporting events, the photographer told People in 2004. Then they spent the rest of the day watching baseball games back at home. Will has often called his father the coolest guy he's ever known, continuing his breakthrough research in his honor. So yeah, there you have it, ladies and gents. A father paying tribute to his son, and he says, follow your dreams and go be that. A lot of people think of him as the spitting image of Chris, and I've known to have done that. Not everybody has their father on Father's Day, so I'm one of those people that don't have their dads on Father's Day. So I kind of kept a low profile and kept things quiet. I didn't even go to my sister's. I needed that time to be by myself and remember my father in my own way. He's trying to tell me, slow down, don't take things so hard. I know you miss me, but you take the time you need to keep things quiet. If you don't want to be with your sister, that's fine. You do what makes you happy. You do what keeps you cool. So, yeah. But again, Christopher Reeve's son is on an ABC station. He does news reports in the morning. And I have to remember that, I remember where I was when that happened, in 1995. I was here at home, and when we heard about it, I had hope that he was all right. But, that's just the way the cards were dealt back in 1995. He wound up paralyzed, and he was fighting back, going from the lowest point on the Asia scale in terms of movement and functionality to moving up to getting proper movement back in his hand again. There's a book on YouTube, I'm still hoping. It's called Still Me. And it talks about his experience when the accident happened and after the accident and what he was gaining back up until close to the time he died. And it's really sad that he's been gone for so long. But I think his son, Will, has done a tremendous job in honoring the legacy of his father. Not just by being on TV, but doing what he feels is right. Sharing the same love of a particular animal. Working at the foundation for Dana and Chris. That says a lot about the moral fiber of this young man who only knew his father as a paraplegic since the age of 3. And he's had a lot of trying times in his life since then, losing Robin Williams, who helped Chris when he was at his most lowest point. One playing the part of a proctologist doctor and making him laugh, to helping cover Chris's medical expenses and taking care of young Will up until the time he died. So, yeah. And I think if it hadn't been for the steady strength and determination of both Dana and Chris, I don't think we'd have the bright, articulate, and most compassionate young man that I have ever seen come out of a stage family and a Hollywood family. Um, says a lot. Says a lot. He's a good man. You know, he's still viable. He's still young. He can move mountains. He could take what his father started, and he can carry it on. And I'm glad he's doing the job that he wants to do and that he feels what he needs to do. So yeah, I couldn't be more proud of young Will. You know, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been taking time for myself and taking care of my health. Of course, there's a lot of Trump humpers out there that don't like the fact that people are getting their shots. But, you know, I got my second COVID shot on Friday, and I had no real after effects except maybe for soreness for a few hours. And I will tell you, the second shot is a bit worse than the first because you feel the burn, as it were. But you know what? I went, I stuck it out, and I did it. I'm glad I did it. I did it for my family. I did it for the people that I care about. And I did it for you. You know, I'm just doing what I feel I need to do these last couple of weeks. Then we heard about the passing of Ned Beatty, the lovable but often abused little guy, Lex Luthor from the Superman movies. He was Otis. He was the one that always talked about having his own place, Otisburg. And Lex would be like, Otisburg? Otisburg? And Lex's pal would be saying, it's just a little bitty place. I'll just wipe it off. And he'd wipe it off the plastic mask that that the idiot had, you know? And I always thought Ned Beatty had a sweetness about him. He was in a lot of movies. One movie in particular that I really liked him in was a film called Switching Channels. It also had Christopher Reeve in it. Ned Beatty's character is a shady politician who will do anything to fry the guy that shot a cop who was a drug dealer. And it has the young lady from Romancing the Stone and Burt Reynolds. And I can't think of the young man who played Sickenthaler, who would go on to have some sort of lenience with Superman. And it's actually a spin on the film called The Front Page. Kathleen Turner plays a reporter who's running on burnout. And when her ex-husband sends her on a vacation, she meets up with Christopher Reeve, who plays Blaine Bingham, a fitness guru who sells exercise equipment and is really a prude. He has his hair all streaked, dressed to the nines in a fancy suit. And when she comes back from vacation, she tells the ex, hey, I'm getting married. And he doesn't, you know, the ex-husband doesn't realize it, but I think he still loved her and did everything he could to stop this fly-by-night fitness guru from marrying his ex-wife. So all kinds of funny situations happen. And when they find out about a guy possibly going to the electric chair for defending his son from a drug dealer, you know, he you know, the guy that shot the cop lost his son to drugs, and he went out and shot the dealer, and the dealer turned out to be a cop. But Ned Beatty's character was doing everything he could to fry the guy. But it took Kathleen Turner's character and Burt Reynolds' character to save the guy. And they get in touch with the mayor to pardon him. And somehow they managed to get the pardon, even after a lot of things went wrong to try and fry the guy in the first place. Because, you know, it just shows the shady side of politics. but you have to have a lighthearted moment every now and again. And Ned Beatty was funny. He was a bit outrageous. And he just has a sweetness about him. You just have to look at him and you see a sweetness. If he was the kind of guy to play a fall guy to Lex Luthor and take the abuse and then go on to play a sleazy guy in politics, or a guy on the Golden Palace, if you ever get a chance, go to Facebook and or YouTube and look up the Golden Palace. The episode's name is Tad. This one is a little bit more personal to me because it deals with a person with a disability. Ned Beatty plays a character. His name is Tad, and he's got a a mental deficiency. And, he sees things from a kid's point of view. And one day he shows up at the hotel that Blanche works at with the rest of the girls. And he's looking for his sister. And the others are thinking that she goes out of town maybe a couple times a month to see her gentleman friend. And that's all she would say. I just went out to see my gentleman friend, and that's all you need to know. But what they come to realize is that the young man that visited the hotel was actually Blanche's brother, who is mentally retarded. And he falls in love with Rose when she gives him the time of day and takes him out to look at seashells, get ice cream, the works. And some of the workers there at the hotel would help take care of him and show him some good fun. Like they'll let him help in the kitchen by folding napkins or helping with breakfast, that kind of thing. And, at one point, Ned's character doesn't want to go back to Chattanooga, Tennessee, to the place where they had him living. And Blanche is upset and tries to keep Rose from him. And Rose tries to make him understand that she likes him as a friend, but not as boyfriend-girlfriend. But by the end of the episode, Blanche gets ready to take him back to Chattanooga. And, he tries to make amends with Rose. At first, he's not real happy about Rose's and his relationship. But then she gives him something extra special. And that something was a card that her deceased husband had given her years before. And Tad's response was, well, maybe he wants it back. And she goes, oh, no, I don't think he'd mind. You give a Valentine to somebody who really means the world to you. And he says, I'm going to keep this card forever. And he says, you only, and Rose basically said that you only give a Valentine to the person who really means the world to you. And Tad, the character he played, walked over and gave his sister Blanche the Valentine. He says, will you be my Valentine? And Blanche looks at him and she bursts into tears. And he goes, did I do something wrong? And she goes, no, Tad, I did. And she says, she says, you can come to the hotel a little bit more, you can come more often. She goes, we'll go to Disney World. We'll go anywhere you want to go. And she goes, I want people to know what a beautiful brother I have. Because probably back in Blanche's day, they didn't really talk about persons with mental or physical disabilities. And I think it kind of gave her family a bit of shame. I'm hoping that really isn't true, because people like me, people like Chris, even if you're not disabled when you're born, at some point in your life, you're going to become disabled. It's just a matter of fact here. When you get older, your body slows down. It doesn't work as well. You end up in a wheelchair. You have a stroke. You end up in a hospital bed. And there was a documentary on about a guy named Mr. Connolly who had ALS. And the documentary documents his time from when he was diagnosed with ALS to when he left Concord High School. And he said, the guy that did the documentary said, there was a student in that school who had a disability since birth. And the young man that they talked about was proud of that identity. So what he's saying is, even if you're not born with a disability, at some point in your life, you're going to become disabled. There is a bit of truth to that. Because you could be fine one day and then you could have a stroke and you could be in a wheelchair. You could get hit by a car and be in a wheelchair. They call people temporarily able. So, a disability could hit you at any time. You just don't know when or if it will hit. But, I have come to learn over these last 50 years is that life is not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. And, there was one thing I learned about Chris that probably none of you even know about. He still taught his son to ride a bike. If you want to hear all about that, you can probably hear it in his book. He would give him like a little pep talk. He says, push on the pedal. Keep pushing on the pedal. Keep going. You're not going to fall. I promise. Somehow, some way, that guy taught his son how to ride a bike. And I think people like Chris and maybe people like me can give people a good example of what a good person really is. We can only do so much in our lifetime. I'm just trying to make the best of it. Just like Chris was trying to make the best of it. Just like any young man, woman, or child that has been injured or crippled in some aspect is trying to make the best of a very piss-poor situation. But anyway, I wanted to read that story about Chris and give you a little insight about how people are often treated. People with disabilities are often treated, and some of the treatment that we get is pretty cruel. Oh, you want to hang out with those retards? They don't offer nothing. But you know what? In my yearbook, they had like a little piece in it around, I think it was the one where I graduated, that says you can get to know these kids and get to know them as real, true friends. They just want to be loved and accepted. And I think that's what Tad wanted. He didn't, he had friends at the center that he was living in, but he wanted to be part of general society. And, when Blanche got mad at Rose for being nice to him, and Tad is just like every other person, they could have a crush on somebody. It's nothing new. It's not a disease. It's not catching. But, if you find that episode, you watch that and let me know how that would make you feel. The Golden Palace was a series that ran for at least a year. It was after the initial run of the Golden Girls. But let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that for you so you don't have to go hunting for it. The Golden Girls, Tad. Let's see here. I think it was Golden Palace, excuse me. Golden Palace, Tad.
Here is some information about Tad. Blanche is embarrassed when her mentally impaired older brother arrives unexpectedly at the hotel.
Yeah, so that aired in April 16th, 1993. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any video here for that. So let's see. Videos. Trying to find it, but it's kind of hard, so yeah. I'll have to find it when I get a chance. It's just harder to find. Let me see if I can look on my other site here. I know I've got it here somewhere. Let's see. Okay. Come on. I know it's getting dark. I can't. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Golden Palace. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I told you I'd find it. Here's the episode of Tad that I want you guys to watch. Yeah, I know, isn't it great being fully vaxxed? My vaccination will fully be done in less than 2 weeks, so yeah. Probably be about the 2nd or the 3rd of next month, so that'll work out good. Yep, just a little soreness for about a day and a half, and I'm good. Of course, you get a few of these anti-vaxxers that don't like it, and they come down on me, and they talked about one football player that refuses to be vaccinated. I said, although I don't support his decision, I think it's a stupid decision because you never know who you can infect because some of them don't have strong enough immune system. Oh, that's good. You have a good time. If you have manicotti, have some for me. If not, eat some of that salad. I like their salad. I've been taking extra steps to kind of shed the tummy a bit, and it seems to work. I drink skim milk, I eat a lot of salad, and eat some lighter meals, and skim chicken. I eat skinless chicken, so yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. I've just been taking time for me, that's all. Well, enjoy. I don't want to hold you up, so you just stay safe out there, and I'll probably still have to wear a mask when I ride the bus, but that's a small price to pay. And if I still have to get a booster in the future, I'll gladly do it because I know it's for the good of all of us. So, yeah. So I haven't fallen off the planet. I haven't disappeared. I haven't given up. I've just been taking time for myself, and it's something that I desperately need, especially around Father's Day. And I think about those that don't have dads. That's the saddest thing. And that's why I was so glad that Will Reeve actually spoke out for his father. He's like, my dad's been gone 17 years. I miss him and I still love him. And I'm following my own path. But yet we share some of the same likes. And I'll share that article below in the video, but I wanted to let everybody know that I was still alive and that I found a nice article on Will Reeve. And if you get a chance to watch him in the mornings, by all means, watch him. He looks a lot like his dad. And, he's his own guy, but I have to remember, he looks like Chris quite a bit, but he's his own person. And I think that's what most of Hollywood tends to forget. I mean, look at John Ritter, his young son, the one that used to have Joan of Arcadia on TV. He's having a hard time getting stuff on television because he looks and sounds a lot like his father. It's like the children of the Beatles. They want the children of the Beatles to be the next Beatles. No, I think they need to be themselves and be their own people. That's why if you meet up with any of the the brothers Gibbs kids, don't tie them into the Bee Gees. Sure, one of the sons may play with his dad, but I think they're their own people. You need to leave them alone. And even though I follow Spencer Gibb quite a bit, I don't say anything about his dad because I know he probably gets tired of answering a lot of questions. What was your dad like? What was his favorite foods? What's his favorite music? He probably gets tired of it, so I don't even raise that shit. He posts very rarely, but when he does, I'd say, hey, how you doing, partner? I know he lives here in the States, but, I believe in maintaining their privacy. So, yeah. But I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you guys are having good weather. We've had it pretty rough around here. Not so much in the Columbus area, but we've had tornadoes in Athens today. They had a tornado up in Chicago. I think it was last night. I think we're supposed to have some weather going through, but I was going to take the trash out, but my keys dropped to the floor, and I forgot that they were on the floor, so I couldn't get in my garage because all my bins were stored up in the garage due to the weather. So, yeah. It's been a crazy week. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get back on here and we'll do another vlog. But for now, I think I'm just going to lay on the down low and just take care of me. It's about 8 o'clock and I'm about due to go to bed. I've been up since about 8:30 this morning, so it is about my bedtime. If you can, get your shot. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Do it for your colleagues. And if you still have to wear a mask for a while, that's just to make sure that those that didn't get the shot don't get sick. Don't be the asshole that refuses not to wear a mask and show common courtesy to keep people from getting sick. Let's just say for the first time in a long time, I was able to go over to parts of the hospital after my shot and get a sandwich, or to go to the main part of the hospital to use the bathroom. Because I got dropped off at 6001 East Broad Street. I wheeled over and went into the door there at the Spiegel Center, waited for them to open their doors to wait to get my shot. And I got my shot, and I went and got a sub. Then I went to sit outside at about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and the rain was coming in, and I had to go to the bathroom because I drank a lot of water over the last week and was flushing everything out of my system. So, yeah. That was an interesting day because I thought we were going to get tornadoes and stuff, but they all went around us that day, so thank goodness for that. I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll talk more tomorrow about what's going on with the news and COVID-19 and all this other stuff. So take care of yourselves and each other. And don't be the asshole. If the other person refuses to get the shot, you take the shot and you do it for the fellow person, even if they don't get the shot. Just say, hey, I'm doing it because I care about you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. And please make sure you're not allergic to anything in the shot. So, yeah. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll talk to you again here later this week. I got one more appointment, and I'm done for the month. So, yeah. And my next appointment is for my main doctor. So, yeah. I'll have to find out what my urine cultures had brought forth and my blood cultures had brought forth. So, won't know until I see the doctor. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves and each other. Sleep well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.